then from there, we can help put together some community presentations, I think. He said that training is probably going to be a 3-day training, 2 sessions each day. So it's going to be quite extensive. But we'll know later, probably later this morning, I'm guessing. So I could, whoever needs to be called. He said he's got a list. Joe said he's got a list of people that need to be that he call, and I'm not sure what that list is. But we'll make sure that we communicate that to everybody. And it may not start till tomorrow afternoon or Thursday morning, just depending on how the cleanup goes. So.
Okay, and then Trudy, that's fine. We can use as much resources as whoever wants to volunteer, but still, as the Tribal Emergency Response Commission, and we have the regulatory authority for emergency management. So on the tribal side of this, we need to begin training as soon as possible.
Okay.
So I'd appreciate it if you could coordinate with him and get so that you're presenting the same materials, but we want to start saturation immediately.
Sure, we can sure do that. One of the things we can do is do a PowerPoint right away on the cleanup, and then I don't know how you want to, if we're going into the CAP offices or, where are we going to do, how are we going to do this publicly? If you want to, set up certain, special meetings for it, or, community meetings, or whatever. I guess that's, we can present what we know at this point.
I think once we get that training set up tomorrow at 8 and we start that process, Trudy, I think once we do that, then we could hit the CAP officers if that's going to be our focal point of where each of our posts are, our storage units are, that's going to be, and our staff's going to be.
I think that, this is Doreen, I'm with the property department. First thing before we start talking about storage and whatnot in those CAP offices, I think we need to get them cleaned up and educated.
Maybe what we could start out with, if they can't all make it to the training, the 3-day training, whatever, that we have a special training with them, as soon as possible, as soon as we can gather enough information, and then provide that information. When we hand out those pamphlets, the pamphlets that CDC, I made a few copies this morning, but that we go over it with them, and that would be the training basically to say, this is what you need to tell people as they come in and pick up the supplies. This is, they're going to have questions, probably questions that we can't answer. I mean, I've got a lot of questions that, I'm trying to figure out, to get to the bottom of what causes this virus to mutate. Is there some other preventive measures that we can be taking besides just cleanup afterwards? Is there something humidity-wise or temperature-wise or something? Every virus has its mutation levels, its max and minimum, temperatures and stuff like that. So that's what I'd like to get to the bottom of too, and maybe the CDC guy can tell us some of that as well, because people are going to have those questions as well, I think.
I'm wondering if it'd be possible, there's a training this week, if it'd be possible to have another training next week.
That would be really good. Maybe we should just set that up. I guess anytime next week we could.
If it's a 3-day training, then this would give us time to notify the people in the districts. And
right. And then set it up maybe for like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And of course, I don't know if we want to commit everybody to a 3-day training like we were going to go through, but at least go through a training that will give them the information to, provide to everybody that comes in and gets supplies. I guess is what I would be looking at, I guess.
Yeah, and I was thinking, with the 3-day training that the New Mexico guy wants to put on, with the people we're going to put in the incident command, the operations planning, logistics, and finance, all of those people would need to go to that 3-day training so that we can be aware of what they're doing and get it coordinated with the training that you're going to implement. Okay,
yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Yeah, so maybe get the CAP office people and whoever else needs to be, the next week kind of aware. And then maybe the critical people that will be helping to provide the training need to go through this deal with CDC guys, is what I'm thinking at this point. But however you guys want to do it.
Are you going to be the contact point for this? If CDC can come next week and the dates, you notify us?
Yes. Did you hear that, Trudy?
No, say that again.
I can be the contact person. What I'm doing here, Trudy, just to provide an overview, is Troy has volunteered to be the IC commander, and he's going to help get all this information to me, and I will be here taking care of the database and coordinating these efforts.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Do I have I'm not sure if did I get your contact number yesterday? I got Lisa's, but I did not get yours. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can call my cell. It's 454-3838.
3838. Okay. All right. And as soon as I know anything, or if you do, and you have my cell phone, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's 441-0358. Okay.
Or they could contact you at the office, huh?
Yeah, I'm, probably better on my cell. I'm not really after this morning, I probably won't be in my office for a few days. It'd be hard to catch me. So try my cell first, and if then leave a message. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Any other questions for her?
No other questions? Appreciate it, Trudy.
Okay.
Thanks for everything, and I'll stay in contact with you.
Okay.
And if anything is, call Arlene also, if you have any other questions. I'll be gone this afternoon for a little while, and then I'll be back in. So.
Okay.
But I'll stay in contact.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
In the meantime, just for your information, we got people calling us law enforcement workers. No matter what anybody says, we are the first responders and everything. So we're getting people calling us and asking us, how do we clean this out? What can we do? So we're handing out these pamphlets. And as good as training, it's good, but right now we have people out there concerned. So this is what we're doing. But we want to clean it up. They have garages, they have storage bins, they want to get it cleaned up because their kids playing on them. So we're kind of going out and talking with them, giving them the sheet and then explaining to them what the virus is about, how to get it cleaned up. It's basically Clorox and water. Spray it down, don't sleep it or back in it.
I think what scares me on this whole situation is, like, people will go into a panic mode first, and then try to clean it up, and then get the information later. And if there's people out there that are doing that, like rustling up the feces, then you're actually getting it airborne and exposing whoever's around. But that's what scares me, that it might cause more
That's what the
sickness.
radio program's about, and I'm hoping that they're listening to that.
That needs to be
That's
started
really
right now,
scary.
ASAP. I mean, that information there of not to panic and to do these steps or procedures. These
Yeah, they're
measures.
probably just start doing it backwards. Yeah, because there's gonna be people out there that's gonna panic and just start cleaning
Yes.
and not
Sweep it.
realizing they're putting it in the air, and then
Do not sweep.
yeah, that's what's really scary, because there's probably hundreds of homes.
And there's
that are-
another one here that says use hot water. A lot of people don't have hot water. They wash in cold water. Would it make a
As
difference?
long as it's mixed with Clorox.
It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold.
Oh, okay, then here it says hot.
In order to keep that aerosolized, it's got to be damp, it's got to be
Yeah,
wet.
as long as it's
So as
damp.
long as it's wet, and
Yeah, 'cause it does
yeah,
say
yeah,
hot
before
water.
any cleaning starts, it needs to be soaked or wet down. So it's the only way it's going to.
Breathing that dust in, that's a whole basic.
Get air and breathe that in.
And that goes with a lot of the stuff that's out there too. We got asbestos, we got the mold, we got everything else. This stuff is all brought to our attention years ago. Back in 1987, there was cases here in South Dakota already with hantavirus. And these procedures, should have been looked at then. In these steps of precaution.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but, we can't go backwards now. We can't start over.
We're gonna panic with that right now.
Yeah.
Did they make a decision on that trailer down at the?
I haven't heard anything on it yet. I just came in yesterday and that's how I got filled in yesterday with everything. I heard a little bit about it from different people, but yesterday was my real.
When I visited with Joe Amy out about it, he said he wanted it to be first priority for
I think it needs to.
Okay.
They're not gonna clean it, they're gonna get
When we're talking about cleaning houses and stuff now, we're cleaning the houses, but I mean,
It's one of
afterwards,
those
we need to look around the houses, you know, the
He
sales,
said-
cars, you know, people store their commodities, their clothes and stuff in the vehicles outside of their house. You know, that's a gathering point for a lot of the
Yeah.
guys. So then we need to look outside of that, you know, once we get the houses done, we need to look into the yards and further out those things.
Well, because he said, what he told me was that he thinks it needs to be demoed, but he wants to make sure the family has a place to live
But
first.
if it's demoed, wouldn't that's,
Well, yeah, well, if they dampen it, but,
Oh, yeah.
that's what he said, because it's terrible in there. So no running water, it's infested really, really bad. That trailer down below would be good.
Well, I think our first step is getting these, the training set up for the people that are gonna be doing the cleaning. Getting them set first, our first responders, people that are gonna be at these houses. They're gonna need PPEs, personal protection equipment, probably. So we probably need to look at something like that for you guys, if you're going in the house, you already have
all our officers with different, but those speakers.
Okay, and then if they could keep, wherever you're getting them, or whatever, if you can keep a good log on that, you know, and this everything, and if everything's turned in, so we could have a log, you know, also with that, what parts are replayed.
this is for cleaning up the houses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we are just going in and doing
You need masks
just
and
the,
gloves.
oh, I got those, but I mean, we're just.
But you're
gonna-
gonna provide the supplies
Yeah,
to the individual homeowner
But we're not
Yeah.
gonna do
and
no
educates
cleaning.
them on.
Yeah, we're
No,
just.
I mean, I'm just saying this for first responders and stuff, and the
Oh.
people that are gonna do their own houses and stuff like
Yeah.
that, we'll train the people at the cap offices who's gonna hand out these supplies and stuff, and then inform the homeowners or the tenants. And I think that's the first step we need to do, is to get these guys, first responders and stuff, their stuff, because they're gonna be out there, they're gonna be handing out these flyers and stuff on the lot.
And we're going to these homes, we never know what we're going into.
Do we need to set up like a decontamination zone or an area, you know, for first responders, once you're in that house or something?
Space, and washing the hands
Yeah, I think we might need that later on, but I think the most important thing to remember is that we don't want to panic the people. I mean, I was trying to keep this low and not say the hantavirus is out there and just teach the people the proper cleaning methods, but Tom Casey kind of jumped the gun and
It's harder
was
on here
putting
with
that out
Facebook
there.
and emails.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's gonna get out there.
Yeah.
It says heavy
It's
loads.
already out there.
And there is a lot of
people panicking already.
Yeah, yeah, and so we want to decrease that panic by teaching them, and so I think it's important that we do this training right away, and
That's,
it's gonna
for
get
first responders,
expensive,
first
when our tribal program's trying to, do additional duties that are not in their program budget. So, I really need to know what supplies we're using every day, so that we can get the BOAT agencies to start, helping us with those, like the pamphlets that we're gonna distribute, the bleach and, the buckets and spray bottles and stuff. So it's really important to have that documentation. So if we could, have all of you bring in your documentation daily.
Yeah, every day, it's gonna have to be done every day, there's gonna have to be a briefing in the morning, and a debriefing in the evening when it's shut down. And then if there's gonna be a change for the next day or something, all that needs to be, talked about right there.
Yeah.
So
It
everybody's
will
aware.
update,
And if
it
we
won't
don't,
stay
it's
the
gonna,
same.
the structure won't work if they don't follow the plan. So once you set that plan, we need to stick to it.
Yeah. And if you read the material, this problem could exist up until August. So we might be in this for a long time, and we don't want it to be too expensive on you. So it's really important that we keep that documentation and get this supplies donated.
So there will be relief, hopefully, not everybody's gonna work till August doing this, as I see as operations and stuff in each one of these sections. So it's gonna have to be relieved one time or another.
And that's what Forestry is here, he will be assisting you with that.
And that's with Dag and Mike. And you guys are all trained in the IC system too.
They're really good at it. Yeah.
I know they are. So they were out there with one league and they did that and had their crew out there. And they even stayed overnight out there, I mean.
So,
Anything else but a good pat on the back, but you know, if they go.
I know, isn't that always the case?
Yeah, that's the way it should be, but.
So it's really important that we start that today, the training and the getting the supplies out.
Okay.
My maintenance men are already in training right now.
Where's the training going on?
At Swim
At
Center.
Swan Center?
So our firefighters.
Oh, with the hazmat?
Yeah.
And then what about, who do we contact you when they
And
want
Ernie
fire
Goins from
burned
Solid
around
Waste
their
is
house?
his training. Water and sewer, Justin McGough. He's in the training, and we got a couple of
We
EMTs.
could do, I just have to visit Fragger about it.
Early.
And that's probably
When's the
something that
next
needs to be done anyway around
What's
some
that?
places and burn.
Because when they saved yours.
Yeah, even if it's not infested or whatever, it could prevent.
Did you
That's
have
prevent.
Joanne?
I had a question. I wanted to ask all of you to, first I'm going to describe who I am. I'm Joanne Spotted Bear. I am the International Director of International Indians. I am also investigating Pine Ridge, and I know about all the embezzlement here on this reservation. A year ago, we did a video with Lester walking, and we put it all over Facebook. We also met with Tracy Tublu, Washington, D.C., and we handed him some information. We have sewer problems at the jail, but we also have them in the homes. Homes, they attract mice, lice, and bed bugs. Some of these homes are condemned. What are you going to do about that? What do you plan on doing about that? Some of these people, they don't know how to fix homes, and they don't have the qualities that you have, and most of them don't even have the insurance that most of you have on the jobs, or even your pay. So my question is, I'm standing up for our people, and I don't get paid for what I do. Everything you see me do is on my own budget, my own money, my own car. Nobody pays me to do a job for our people. And yesterday's meeting, I was very disappointed when they said, how much is our insurance? Are we going to get paid? What if we die? Well, what about our people that's dying out there? That 7-year-old girl, she didn't deserve to die. This problem should have been cleaned up a year ago, not today. So those are my questions to you. These videos also go on YouTube. They will be on YouTube and in the International World Court and justice in the eyes of the world. So everything you talk about, I hope that you and pray that you will do what you say you can do. Joanne Spotted Bear. I'm from Wounded Knee.
Okay, I'm glad you were able to make it, Robert. We really need you to find out about the storage space at these camp offices.
And while a lot of them have a little bit of space, at least enough to store a bunch of stuff and wait for now.
There's one storage room in all the camps. It's not a huge storage room. It's probably not even as big as this room.
Wallace is just the back porch.
Old Wallace is, that's because that's not a round, it's a double lecture. So.
Okay, so,
We have a shed. We have a room in our shed, and it's locked.
volunteering for
If need be, yeah.
What I use at my office is those railroad car things. That's what I use for storage. I could look into seeing if I can find another one. 'Cause those are airtight, watertight, and you can lock them up. What I've got in the back of my office, yeah.
Now, the question was brought up, Lisa, the reason that people get the supplies for the bleachers, because of her grant funds purchasing these supplies, that she needs to keep them within her office. Is that something that you guys are gonna be faced with too?
I don't know, I won't. I talked with my program manager this morning at EPA, and he said this would be like emergency, so I can use my funds for any kind of assistance.
If she's gonna keep it and distribute it, she's still gotta follow that system where she's, you know how she's distributing it to who and quantities, everything. She's still gotta keep that tracking record on it. Yeah. So she needs to be notified of that. That'll happen.
Okay, and then for the other supplies, when you guys bring them in, could you be responsible for the supplies? Storing them in that unit? that
Well, I
you
don't have a unit, I said I'd look into getting one.
Oh, I thought you
right
said
away.
you had one.
That's what I use now
Okay.
for, office equipment and whatnot, that's my storage, but I can see if I can find another one.
Okay.
But that's-
Yeah, that would be good. We're gonna get that, we're probably gonna need it for a long time.
Yeah, so if it's a long term and we're gonna plan on a long term, you know, I know that this is gonna happen, we're gonna start getting donations from the outside. You know, I mean, and that's good, you know, any donation we could get is grateful. And as that comes, you know, but if we're gonna focus on all 9 districts, each one of these places is gonna be able to hold, you know, a certain amount, or we're gonna need one big storage place, you know, or we're gonna need to rent a storage,
Well,
something
see,
like
that would be like receiving, I mean, the donations would come in, you'd have your donation documents, and then once the district came in to pick up supplies, the receiving report would be done, they'd
Yes,
sign off
for
on it too.
distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted
Yeah.
you here, because your department already does that, and, so that could you handle that responsibility once that happens? Good, good.
So you'd be under operations, logistics, probably, logistics? Could we put you under that? So if we fill this structure now, and we know who's the players here on this, the staff here, we'll know how this is gonna operate and who we need to contact, and we can be in charge of it. So,
Would that be good?
Yeah,
okay.
put my name in and, get Chris's.
Then we have the operations planning and finance.